Hey, fifth grade. It is Ms. Pullum, and today we're going to be discussing the very last type of text structure that a nonfiction passage can be, and that is going to be description writing. So far, we have learned about the four other types of text structures, which has been compare and contrast, talking about similarities and differences of two topics. We have talked about problem and solution. We have talked about cause and effect, and we have discussed a timeline or chronological order or sequence of events. The very last text structure that a nonfiction text can be is going to be description. Description is when the author provides several details of something to give the reader a mental picture. Maybe it is a map that they're talking about. Maybe it is a type of machine. Maybe it is a diagram that you're looking at. There are many ways that an author can use description writing. If it's a nonfiction informative text, the clues that you're going to want to look for are many adjectives. And we know that an adjective is a describing word, characteristics of something, or examples of something. Go ahead and take a look at this picture now. How would you describe this machine to someone if they were not looking at the picture and you wanted them to have a mental picture in their mind of what you were looking at? How would you describe it? What are some describing words that you would have? Okay, you might say it's made of metal, there's 6 wheels. You might say there's a camera on top. You might say it's square-shaped with robotic arms. It works on the planet of Mars. Excuse me. Okay, so today we're going to watch a video of the Mars rover.
This is the largest and highest resolution panorama the Curiosity rover has ever taken. It's made up of almost 1,200 individual images taken over 4 days. The rover's body is too close for the Mastcam's telephoto lens, but we were able to capture the rover using the other Mastcam lens. The higher resolution version is nearly 1.8 billion pixels. What I love about this panorama is that we can zoom way in and see details far in the distance. When you start to do that, you can see the rim of the crater we're inside of all the way to the north. Here's an impressive sight. 20 miles away is Slang Post Crater, just inside Gale Crater's rim. End to end, Slang Post is 3 miles wide. Something huge must have struck here. Whenever I start to think that Mars looks familiar, sites like this dramatic impact crater remind me that we're looking at a different planet. Curiosity is exploring a clay-bearing region on the side of a mountain. This ancient landscape was the site of lakes and streams billions of years ago. They left their clues in the finely layered, clay-rich rock. This crumbling cliff is the edge of the Green Hue Pediment. It's a vast sheet of rock draped over the side of a mountain. It must have formed after the lakes disappeared and the mountain took its present shape. Did it once extend even farther out? Curiosity looks a bit like an abstract painting here. That's because this is a 360-degree perspective. The image is warped, like looking through a fisheye lens. You can make out some amazing details on the rover itself. This is the shadow of Curiosity's mast. Here's RAD, an instrument that detects radiation from the sun and space. Thanks to RAD, we have a better idea of how to protect future astronauts on Mars. Why are there severed tubes and wires on the rover? These tubes were part of the fluid cooling system that circulated throughout the spacecraft that flew the rover to Mars. These wires were like an umbilical cord for data. They were cut during landing. In spite of all the dust, our sundial still tells us to explore. Trailing behind the rover, you can see our tracks, including where we climbed up a hill. Even after 7 years on Mars, Curiosity is not done making tracks yet. Panoramas like this are like a window to another world. Explore it yourself in a 360 video. Look for the link in the description.
Okay, so now we're going to practice with this passage here about Mars rover. Our Mars rover is a robotic vehicle sent to explore the planet Mars. The rover's drivers are back on Earth, but they're not using a joystick or remote control. At the start of each Mars day, the rover receives commands from scientists on Earth. These commands plan out the rover's entire day. For example, a driving command might be travel 5 meters, then make a 90-degree right turn. Or they might give the rover a target to move towards, like a specific rock, and the rover navigates its own course. The rover's 6 wheels are made of strong metal mesh. In fact, this material enables the vehicle to move over the rocky Mars terrain without damaging the wheels. Though they have durable wheels, rovers are slow-moving vehicles. Top speed is only about 1/10 of a mile per hour, which is slower than the pace of an average box turtle. In addition, rovers also make frequent stops. Typically, a rover drives for 10 seconds, then stops for 20 seconds to assess its current surroundings and terrain. The rover then continues on for another 10 seconds before stopping again. The scientists' commands also include instructions for mission tasks. To perform these tasks, rovers are equipped with specialized tools. Robotic arms pick up rocks and examine them. Drills search for information about the planet's history and hidden under the surface. Cameras photograph large areas of landscape and take close-ups of rocks. Okay. So now we're going to fill in the directions. Say, read the passage, what is a Mars rover, which is what I just read. Fill in each box with a detail about the topic. And of course, you would be able to go back to that passage and pull specifically the description sentences right from this passage. So we have a robotic vehicle, which is sent to explore Mars. We are also informed that the rover receives commands from scientists on Earth. We also can see, and it is also in the passage, that it has 6 wheels, which is made of strong metal mesh. We are told that it is a slow-moving vehicle, only 1/10 of a mile per hour, which is slower than a turtle. Robotic arms pick up rocks and examine them, and cameras photograph large areas of landscape. As you can see, these facts would not fit into any other type of text structure. These are describing sentences. All of these sentences and facts talk about the specific Mars rover. That is what this topic is in this passage. It is a nonfiction passage describing a Mars rover. Okay. We're going to list keywords and phrases from the passage that show the text structure is description. Remember, a description text is going to be factual. It's going to have facts. It's going to be informing you. It's going to be describing something. So we have in fact, in addition. So in addition to that fact, they would list another fact. Typically, they're telling you something that would normally happen with this specific topic of what you were on. And then they give an example. For example, these types of words are what you can look for in a description text. What was the author's main purpose for writing this passage? Think about it in your minds for a minute. I put that the author's main purpose for writing this passage is to explain to readers the different parts of the Mars rover and how it operates from Earth. Okay, so that was our overview of description writing. So remember, if it's not anything else, if it is not compare and contrast, problem and solution, cause and effect, sequence of events, or a timeline, it's going to be description. It's going to be facts. It's going to be describing a topic. And we know that because it's not any of the other four. And then we can know that our last choice could be description. Okay, have a great day, everybody.